Well, hello. This is Queen C, the encourager, no longer bound. Welcome to our podcast. We are here today with our 48 laws of black empowerment. And we are on law number 14. The question is, should we change our mentality? Do we need to change our mentality? Do we need to change the way we think? The author says at some point, the phrase is, that's not how I was raised, and that's just how I was raised, need to be done away with. These are just commonly accepted excuses for not taking accountability for our choices. I'm willing to bet that the majority of us was not raised to drink, to do drugs, to make babies before marriage, but we still managed to overcome our upbringing and get it done anyway. Our upbringing and environment only influence our outcomes so much. It's more about mentality than circumstance. One person may be told, you'll never make it as a comedian or a doctor or a lawyer, teacher, and they believe it. And another kid will get told the same thing, and they'll think to themselves, I'm going to prove you wrong and rub it in your face. There are probably deeper psychological reasons as to why they develop a different mentality. But how they choose to think is more important than how they were raised. If we change the way we think, we'll start to recognize when we're making excuses for not doing certain things. If there's a legitimate reason why we can't do something, we should refer back to law number 7. And you'll find that in my podcast. And compensate for it. If there's something we don't know, we need to educate ourselves. I don't know how to do that is no longer an acceptable answer since the advent of Google and YouTube. If we don't know, it's because we don't want to know. If we don't fix our weaknesses, it's because we don't want to. If we don't know our identity, it's because we don't want to know it. The time for excuses is over. From here on out, if we choose not to do something, it's simply because we don't want to do it, and for no other reason. Physical handicaps, are excluded. Listen, during slavery, black children were raised to always address white people a certain way, always behave a certain way around white people, and never ask questions. At some point, our people stopped thinking that way. Just because we were raised a certain way doesn't mean we have to be bound to that way of life, especially if it's not beneficial to us, to our families, or to our community. Here's a quote. What you're supposed to do when you don't like a thing is change it. If you can't change it, change the way you think about it. That was Maya Angelou. So when we look at our family is the very first community that we grow or get into. How we grow up will often shape our perceptions about relationships and parenting. For those with non-traditional families made up of people unrelated by blood, some of those bonds become much tighter than the bonds of those with blood relatives often form. No matter what type of family dynamic we have, we must always strive to keep the black family intact. We must strive to keep the black family intact. Remember, this is 48 Laws of Black Empowerment. For years, the U.S. government has attacked the black family through various policies on both the Democrat and Republican sides. Family unity is the cornerstone of black empowerment. A supportive family dynamic has the power to push us farther than we've ever dreamed possible. Here's another quote. Never exalt people because they're your family. Never exalt people because they're your color. Exalt them because they are worthy. Wow. That's Louis Farrakhan. Listen, I pray that you are really listening to these 48 laws, and I pray that they are a blessing to you. This is your girl, Queen C, No Longer Bound. We'll see you right here next time. No longer bound.